I am 79 years old. I have outlived my husband. I have outlived 3 of my closest friends. I have outlived the version of myself that believed money could fix anything. And I want to tell you about a Tuesday afternoon in November 1999. Nothing dramatic happened that day. No crisis, no accident, no loss. Just a 14-year-old boy, a gift, and 5 words that I will take with me when I go. I need to tell you something about wealth that nobody who has it ever says out loud. It does not make you feel safe. Not really. Not the kind of safe you think it will. What it does, what nobody warns you about, is it gives you the ability to substitute, to replace the things you do not have with things you can buy. And after a while, you stop noticing you are doing it. I was very good at this. I missed my son's 8th birthday, supplier crisis in Milan. I sent a remote-controlled car that cost more than most people's monthly rent. I missed my daughter's first school recital. I sent flowers and a note that my assistant wrote. I missed Christmas Eve for 4 consecutive years, from 1991 to 1994. Every year I made up for it with something bigger than the year before. I believed the exchange was fair. I was wrong. And I know exactly when I found out. November 14th, 1999. My son was 14 years old. 5 words. Let me take you back to that Tuesday afternoon. Matteo had just turned 14. I had missed the birthday itself. I was in Seoul, finalizing a licensing deal that I had been building for 8 months. The deal closed. I flew home 3 days later. I brought him a gift, a watch. Not a boy's watch, a real one, Swiss, the kind of watch a grown man saves 3 years to buy. I remember thinking, he will understand when he is older. He will know what this means. He was sitting at the kitchen table when I came in, homework spread out in front of him. He looked up, said hi, the way teenagers say hi, like the word costs them something. I set the box on the table next to his notebook. He looked at it for a moment, opened it slowly, looked at the watch, turned it over in his hands. Then he looked up at me. He said, "Did you pick this yourself?" 5 words, not 6. I miscounted all these years. 5 words that I have heard every single day since. I told him yes, I had picked it myself, in a shop near the hotel in Seoul. I thought that was the right answer. He nodded, put the watch back in the box, said thanks, went back to his homework. The conversation was over in under a minute. You know what he was actually asking me? He was not asking about the watch. He was asking whether I had thought about him, whether I had stood somewhere in the world and pictured his face and chosen something specifically for him. He was asking if he had been in my mind. A watch cannot answer that question. Nothing you buy can. I want to be honest with you about something. I did not buy those gifts for my children. I bought them for myself. A gift is easy. A gift has a beginning and an end. You choose it, you buy it, you give it. Done. The guilt goes with it. Presence is different. Presence does not end. It demands that you show up tomorrow and the day after and the day after that. It asks you to be uncomfortable, to sit with someone when you would rather be working, to be bored, to be slow. Here is what I did not understand then. Every gift I gave was a signal, not to them, to me. It was me telling myself, you handled it. You covered it. You can move on now. It was a transaction. Guilt in, gift out. And children feel the difference between a transaction and love every single time. They cannot name it when they are small, but they feel it. And they remember it when they are grown. When Sophia was 30, she was going through a difficult divorce. She called me. We talked for 2 hours, the longest conversation we had had in years. At the end, she said, "Mom, I do not need anything. I just needed you to pick up the phone." She did not say it with anger. That was the worst part. She said it like she was surprised, like she had not expected me to answer. But here is what took me the longest to admit. The problem was not that I was too busy. I was never too busy for an hour. The problem was something else entirely. And it is the thing I think you need to hear most.
Being present is hard, not in the way people talk about it, not mindfulness, not breathing, not putting the phone down, hard in a different way. Hard because when you sit with someone you love and you truly pay attention, you have to feel things, their confusion, their sadness, their need for you, and you cannot fix any of it with a spreadsheet. I know this sounds obvious. Stay with me. I was comfortable in boardrooms. I was comfortable in negotiations. I was comfortable in situations where the problem had a solution, and the solution required action. I was deeply, profoundly uncomfortable sitting on the edge of my daughter's bed at 9 o'clock at night while she cried about something at school that I could not fix. So I did not. I stayed late at the office instead. For 23 years, I chose the problems I knew how to solve. My husband told me something in our 18th year of marriage. We were on a trip, one of the rare ones where I actually came. He said, "Elena, do you know what your children talk about when they talk about you?" I said, "No." He said, "They talk about the times you showed up unexpectedly. That is it. Every story they have about you starts with one time Mom actually came." He was not being cruel. He said it quietly, looking at the water. I did not respond. I went back to the hotel and answered emails for 3 hours. That is how buried it was. He handed me the truth, and I filed it away and got back to work. That is how completely I had learned to avoid the things that cost me nothing and gave everything. Let me tell you what my money did buy, because it bought real things, real and important things. It bought my children the best schools. It bought them safety, comfort, opportunity. It bought them a world with no material ceiling. They could go anywhere, study anything, become whoever they wanted. Those are not small things. I want to be clear about that. But here is what it did not buy. It did not buy the Tuesday afternoons, the slow dinners with nowhere to be, the drives to school where nothing particular was said, but something particular was felt. It did not buy the version of me that had learned how to be still. Mateo is 38 now. He has 2 children of his own, a girl, 7, and a boy who just turned 4. He is a good father, better than I was a mother. I see how he is with them, and it fills me with something I do not have a name for. Pride, yes, but also grief, because I can see clearly what I did not give him, and I can also see that he figured it out anyway, without me showing him, despite me maybe. If you are doing what I did, if you are handing people things instead of yourself, I want you to understand something. You can still fix this. Right now, today, you can fix this. The older they get, the narrower that window becomes. I know this because I am 79 years old, and I am lying in a hospital room and my window is very nearly closed. 2 weeks ago, Mateo came to see me here. He came on a Wednesday. He told his office he had a family matter. He sat in the chair next to my bed for 4 hours. We did not talk the whole time. He read, I slept. We watched something on television that neither of us cared about. It was the best 4 hours I have had in years. Not because anything was resolved, not because we talked through 38 years of distance, because he was there, just there, not fixing anything, not bringing anything, present. And I finally understood what I had taken from him all those years. Not a childhood of luxury, not opportunity or education. This, just this. Before he left, he stood at the door for a moment. Then he turned around and said, I'll come back Thursday, Mom. Not, let me know if you need anything. Not, I'll call you Thursday. A specific day, a promise. I cried for the first time in 11 years. I built a company worth more money than most people will see in 1,000 lifetimes. I could buy anything. I could not buy a single Tuesday afternoon back. Not one. So here is what I want you to do. Not think about, do. Think about the person in your life who most needs your presence, not your money, not your help, not your advice. You. The slow, undistracted, nowhere-to-be version of you. When did they last have that? When did you last give it? Do not compensate. Do not send something. Do not schedule something 3 weeks from now. Go today, this week, not because you have time. You do not have time. Nobody has time. Go because the time you do not spend with them is gone the moment it passes. It does not wait. It does not save. It does not come back, no matter how much you are willing to pay for it later. I am 79 years old. I have outlived my husband, 3 of my closest friends, and the version of myself that believed money could fix anything. November 14th, 1999. A 14-year-old boy. 5 words. Did you pick this yourself? Whatever you are giving the people you love today, make sure the answer to that question is yes. Are you buying your presence with things instead of actually giving it?